Hello, dear friends. This is Jeannie from Dollhouse Rescue. I'm back in my workshop tonight. Welcome back and welcome to my channel. I am starting to work on another house tonight. I've got a couple of reasons why I picked this house. First of all, it's got a little bit of rust damage on it, and I have not dealt with rust damage for a while here in my workshop. It's got rust right along here. I'm going to have to sand that off and paint it. And then a little bit here on the bottom base floor. It's got rust along here too, so we're going to take care of all of that. But the other thing is this is kind of a rare and unusual house. You just don't see it for sale very often. On eBay or Facebook Marketplace, I was lucky enough to buy this it's been within the last year, but I've had it a few months. And I was tickled to see it. And when the lady sold it to me, I think she was surprised that I was as interested in it as I was. But you rarely see this house come available for sale. And I call it the house with the 3 fish in the bathroom because it's got a unique design to it. It's the only one that's got 3 fish on the wall. So that's why I knew it was really unusual when I saw that she had it for sale. Now this was made by Wolverine, which is a brand name that made a lot of dollhouses. They made at least 3 or 4 different styles, but I think this is their first one, their earliest ones that they made. Although I've not found a lot of documentation on it. This is my favorite reference book, and I always check this to see what it might have to say about this house. It's got most of the houses in here, and it's got one little part right here in a picture of that house. And you probably can't see it, but you can barely see up here in the bathroom that it's got those 3 fish up on the wall. According to this reference book, this house was made between 1968 and 1973. A couple of things that are unique about this house. First of all, the front wall of the house, the front outside of the wall, is made up of 2 pieces. And in most of those houses, that is one piece. But in this case, it's made up of these 2 pieces, the bottom story and the top story. I'll show you what the outside looks like. It looks like this. Now, I'm going to do a couple of interesting things, and one of them is I'm going to show you there's quite a bit of fading up here on these shingles or shutters, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that to make those nice and bright and red again. The other thing that's unique about this house is the way it's put together, and I'll show you that in a little more detail. But houses made after this by Wolverine were hooked together with little nuts and bolts that actually screwed the pieces together, unlike a Mark's house where they always fit together with little tabs and slots. The later Wolverines have little bitty bolts and little bitty plastic nuts that hook them together. But this does not have that. It has something else, and I'll be showing that in a little more detail. My first step, though, is to get it cleaned up. Let me go through those steps. I use a non-sudsy cleaner. This bottle says Spray 9. Spray 9 is a good cleaner. However, when my bottle ran out, I filled it up with Awesome Cleaner from the Dollar Tree, which also works very well. I just happen to like this spray bottle. It's got a nice sprayer on it, better than the ones I get from Dollar Tree. But I spray it on my paper towel, and then I wash everything off and avoid getting a lot of moisture in the house. Anytime you're starting on a house that you've not worked on before, I like to do a test spot, and I've never worked on a Wolverine house of this age. So I would do my test cleaning spot on the bottom of the floor or the bottom of the roof, somewhere that will not show, just in case my cleaner does any damage to the paint. So what I look for here is I look to see if any color is coming off as I wash, and nothing is other than a little bit of dirt. And also, after it dries, I check to make sure it did not get tacky at all from a chemical reaction from the cleaner. So once you've tested it that way, you should be good to clean it. All right, I'm going to clean all of these pieces off, front and back and every side, and you can just watch me do that. Should just take a minute or two. This house is a little dirtier than I thought, so it's really benefiting from this nice cleaning. Got it clean. Like I said, that house was a little dirtier than I thought it was. It really, it kind of had an overall film. That's one reason I like to wash these off, especially if I have the house apart already and this was shipped to me in pieces, because I can get everything clean. And you never know, back in the day, a lot of people smoked that could have had nicotine film on it. Um, you never know, but everything has been cleaned off that can get cleaned off. Wow, it really was dirtier than I thought. But cleaning it also confirmed for me that it's in really good condition. Look at those interesting graphics. I mean, this house is very unique. You just don't see it very often at all. Um, One of the reasons I'm doing this now is this house had come up for discussion in our Dollhouse group on Facebook. And they said, somebody was saying, how do you put that together? What holds it together? And I said, well, I've got one of those. Let me get it out and look, and we'll kind of do a more in-depth dive. But I've showed them generally how it is put together. And like I said, it is unique. These pieces that hook to the floor have very shallow little loops on the bottom. And that loop goes into a slot on the base, or like where the top story hooks to the bottom story, here's the little slots that those little loops hook into. And then it had little fasteners that came with it, almost like a little flat bobby pin to hold those together. The lady that I bought this from sent me a little package of those clips that are supposed to hold it together, and I have put those in a safe place, and so far I have not found those. I probably have them, and I'll probably get them found. But if not, I'm going to use brads, and I've already tried a sample to see if I can get the brads to hold this together, and they do, and that's why these pieces are joined together. I've used those little brass brads that you buy in the office supply place to put into those slots to hold that together, and I think when I get that next wall back on there, that is going to hold that very adequately. But one of the little original clips is still here. So I'm going to take that little clip out because this lady on the Facebook group wanted to see what those little clips look like. And this one's still wedged in there. Good thing, or I would have lost it too. Well, I'm not going to say they're lost. They are somewhere. Let me get this out and I'll show it to you. Okay, I wiggled on that about 5 minutes and I could not get it out. I'm going to put a picture in here. I took a couple of pictures of what that looks like up close, but it's just a little almost rectangular piece of metal, and then it's bent a little bit, and then you must poke it down into that slot. I'm not going to put it in the right slot, but I'm going to show you what it would look like. You poke it down into the slot, and then you must bend it forward to hold it into place. There we go. So like there would be the slot, and that little connector would go down in there, and then you reach around the back or underneath and bend it back up into place is how it's supposed to work. And again, I've got a bunch of those somewhere. I'm not sure where they are. In the meantime, I think we're going to use brads. I think they'll work just fine. As I clean this house, I've assessed what needs to be done. And then just a little bit of paint on those rusty spots I already showed you. We'll do that in a minute. And I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to try to get everything back into the right shape that it was like when it was new. I don't know if you can see that corner is bent up a little bit. There's several spots. I'm just going to take my pliers. This corner could be straightened a little bit and try to get that back into the original shape that it was. I don't think I'm going to need my hammer for that. You can see this wall here, like it's separated, like that's a little bit splayed out. I'm going to use my pliers and try to get that back into shape nice and square again. This little corner here is bent up, so we'll get that done. But before I do that, I want to tell you a little story about this house. I did get the roof out, and I've got it washed up. Sometimes I forget to do that till the end. And I see the chimney is gone. But, you know, when I got this house, I'm pretty sure I did an unboxing video. So I can go back and look at that video and see if that chimney was in there, or are we going to have to replicate it? I might have that chimney being stored. Some of these other plastic pieces I know I do have stored, like this plastic window or window here I've got stored. I believe I have the door, and I've got that in a storage box. So I think I've got those pieces that I need. These windows here I think I have in a storage box. So I think it's going to be complete. It should have a patio, a railing, and a canopy, and I believe I have the canopy. I don't know if I have the railing, but I'll be looking for all those pieces to put it together at the end. But I do want to tell you a story about this. When I bought it from this nice lady, like I said, she was a little surprised that I was interested in it. I suppose it had been rattling around their house for a long time and she was tired of it. But the story she told me is when she was young, she had like 4 or 5 brothers and sisters. They had a pretty good sized family. And this was a dollhouse that they all shared. And the mom only got it out and let them play with it on special occasions and only under supervision. So that's why it's in such a nice shape. And it came with a box full of original furniture too. The furniture is typical of what you see in the Wolverines that you might buy that are just a little bit newer than these. So the furniture is not unique, but it was very nice condition, and I've already packed that away or used it in other houses. But I thought that was a sweet story, and that's why it's in such good shape. It's got a little bit of rust, probably from being stored and getting a little moisture in it sometime or other, but otherwise it's in wonderful condition, and I think it's going to be pretty close to complete. These are my 2 favorite pairs of pliers for working on dollhouses, and I'll probably use this one the most. The reason it's got blue on it is these pliers came and they had like some serrated edges in there, some lines for gripping, and I've covered those up because those lines can tend to scratch your dollhouses. So I've covered those up with masking tape. That's why it's blue on the end. And this pair does not have those. But these are, I call them a needle nose pliers. I'm not sure if that's the correct term. And these are some other kind of pliers. So those are my favorites, and I'm going to use them and just get stuff bent back into shape. Should just take a minute or two. Okay, I got them all bent back into original shape as best as I can. Now the next step is to touch up the paint or to see what else we might do to improve any little scratches. And on this, for example, there are a few little real light scratches there. Now, those I like to touch up with like a Sharpie marker. And I keep my Sharpie markers in this padded notebook that I got at Goodwill one day. And when you open it up, I cut little slits in the padding and I keep my Sharpie markers in there. And so they're always handy. I always know where they are, and I can store them flat, which is the best way to store them. So I've got a variety of colors in here, and I believe I've got like an orange. Let's try orange first. It doesn't have to be an exact color match. If orange doesn't match, we might try red. But I'm just going to try to trace over those lines, and then a lot of times I go back with my finger. Oh, that's a good looking match. And kind of smudge that to kind of blend it in just a little bit. That is doing really good on that orange. The black's going to need a black marker. That looked really good for the orange. Let's see if the black works as well. Now this happens to be a much finer point marker, but let's see how it works. It's doing a pretty good job too. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that black also. Well, I have my orange marker out. Let's try these little faint lines here. Very faint lines there. Little tiny scratches. Let's see if this will fill that in or if it's too dark. It is kind of dark, but can we smudge it off? Sometimes if my finger doesn't smudge off enough, I'll get a damp rag, a damp paper towel, and just wipe it down a little bit, and that knocks that back. Oh yeah, that looks really, really good. Let me do these other little scratches here, and then I'll show you. That looks really good in real life. I'm not sure how it looks on the video, but in real life it looks good. Now this little dark spot over here is not dirt, and it's not missing paint. It's just like a little imperfection in the original, and I probably won't mess with it because I do think that's original. If I felt like it, oh, I could try a little dot of orange paint on there, but I probably won't. I'll probably leave it. There's a few little scratches here on this shutter. Now this shutter is more of a red in real life. Let's try the orange marker and see how it looks. If I need to get my red marker out, I will, but we'll try the orange because it's kind of a red-orange. That looks good. I just have to put a little bit of black on there.